Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. My name is Andrew Heishman. I'm the lead forecaster here at NWW16. So, for today's video, we have a lot in store as we actually are expecting a upcoming winter storm along with some severe weather across the nation. So, we actually are expecting a tornado outbreak to occur tomorrow. So you guys will definitely want to stay tuned for that. So we'll be taking a look at the radar view as well as the satellite. We'll take a look at the Storm Prediction Center for your thunderstorm forecast. And then we'll take a look at the models. Following that, we'll take a look at those National Weather Service hazards. And then at the end of the video, we'll take a look at the photo of the day. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get on into it. Alrighty, guys, so for today's question of the day, I am wanting to know, what is your favorite Christmas movie? Leave it down in the comments below, and I just might heart your comments. Personally, my favorite Christmas movie has to be Polar Express or Elf. Those two are my, number one favorites. I can't put one over the other because they're both just great movies, but leave your all's favorite down in the comments below, and I just might heart your comment. But anyways, guys, we are trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of this year, so if you guys are not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as leave a like. It'll be greatly appreciated. You guys are awesome. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Alrighty, guys, so we're taking a look at the radar terms of things. We actually do have a few things that is going on. We do have some snow and rain showers across bits of the upper northwest, basically across northwestern Oregon as well as western Washington state. Now we move to the southwest. We actually do have some snow showers across Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming, with some more rain showers across bits of the California, Nevada, and Arizona area. So then the further you move up to the northeast, across bits of Michigan State into bits of Wisconsin, we're actually seeing a little bit of snow that's currently going on right now. We'll actually take a look at the models in terms of what this is expected to do further down the line. And then across basically bits of the southeast, we're looking relatively clear for the most part, as we do have high pressure in place. So let's go and take a look here at the satellite view, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of the current weather across the nation. Alrighty, guys, so we're taking a look at the satellite terms of things. We actually do have a lot of cloud cover across the United States. Across the western coast, we do have some more moisture moving its way in across the southwest, leading to some more of that precipitation that we saw on the radar side of things. Now, we actually do have more cloud cover across the upper northwest, moving in through the northern plains as well as the upper Midwest. However, places such as the central plains into the Midwest, we're actually looking relatively clear for the most part. We actually do have another patch of clear skies across bits of central and eastern parts of Kentucky here, as you can see. With a lot more cloud cover across the southeast, mid-Atlantic, up into the northern parts of the Ohio Valley, and up into the northeast with a lot more cloud cover. So that's basically what we're dealing with in terms of that. Now let's go ahead and take a look here at the Storm Prediction Center, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of your thunderstorm forecast. Alrighty, guys, so we're taking a look here at the Day 1 convective outlook. This is basically your thunderstorm forecast for today. We do have a generalized thunderstorm threat across the southeast. This is not really expected to be any severe storms. However, a few thunderstorms might pop off here basically across bits of the green area. This does include bits of eastern Texas, Louisiana, southeastern parts of Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and bits of western, Georgia here, as well as the western panhandle of Florida. Like I said, not necessarily expecting any severe thunderstorms. However, your average thunderstorms might pop off. Now, so let's go ahead and take a look here at the Day 2 outlook, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of this tornado outbreak that we are expecting tomorrow. Alrighty, guys, so we're taking a look here at the Day 2 convective outlook. This is your thunderstorm forecast for tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center has been pretty heavy on this. We actually do have an enhanced risk that has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. This is basically a severe threat level 3 out of 5. So it's actually a pretty decent chance we could see a lot of severe weather tomorrow. Now, we actually do have a larger, slight risk basically stretching out here in the yellow, as well as that really large marginal risk basically across the southeast all the way up through the Ohio Valley here. A large area of severe thunderstorms is expected tomorrow. So, in terms of tornadoes, we actually do have a 10% significant chance of seeing damaging tornadoes here basically across this area in yellow. Now, you might see these little lines. This is basically showing that it is significant. So, essentially what that means, every single 25 miles in this yellow zone, you have a 10% chance of seeing a tornado EF2 or higher. That's going from EF2 to EF5. You have a 10% chance of seeing that every single 25 miles, basically here across the yellow. Now, we actually do have that larger 5% region across the Ohio Valley down to the southeast. Same thing, pretty much, every single 25 miles, you have a 5% chance of seeing tornadoes in general. Not necessarily EF2 or higher. I mean, that could happen, but generally we are expecting just a 5% chance of the tornado threat overall. And of course, we do have our lower 2% across the Ohio Valley, moving down into the southeast here, basically across the green shaded area. Now, We actually do have a wind threat as well. This is mostly a linear event, basically showing this long line. So we actually do have the threat for wind damage as well tomorrow. We have a 30% chance of damaging winds, basically every single 25 miles. You have a 30% chance of having damaging winds 60 miles per hour or more across this red shaded area. Same thing, the 15%, basically every single 25 miles, 15% chance of damaging winds 60 miles per hour or more. And of course, you do have your 5% region stretching out even further from the Ohio Valley down to the southeast. So in terms of hail, we actually do have a 5% chance of seeing hail for tomorrow. It's relatively low. It's kind of the lowest threat in terms of hail. However, we do actually have that in place across bits of the Ohio Valley, through the Midwest, and down into the southeast here, basically in this brown shaded area. So this is showing that every single 25 miles, you have a 5% chance of seeing hail 1 inch in diameter and greater. That's basically quarter size and larger. So that's basically what we're dealing with in terms of the severe weather tomorrow. We'll do an even more, in-depth breakdown of tomorrow's setup tomorrow whenever our next video comes out. So let's go and take a look here at the day 3 convective outlook, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of the thunderstorm forecast for the day after tomorrow. Alright guys, so we're taking a look here at the day 3 convective outlook. This is basically your thunderstorm forecast for Saturday. So the Storm Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk across the southeast, building up into the Ohio Valley as well as the mid-Atlantic region. So basically, this is showing that there's a 1 out of 5 severe threat level. In terms of what we can expect, the Storm Prediction Center has mentioned basically, damaging winds being the main threat. However, you can't really break it down on your day 3 outlook. They don't have, that breakdown part. That's only for your days 1 through 2. So, in general, we are expecting some, severe thunderstorms to occur across bits of the southeast, building in through bits of the mid-Atlantic for your Saturday outlook. So, let's go and take a look here at the models, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of what the weather has to show us here in the future. Alright guys, so we're taking a look at the models in terms of things. This is your NAM 3-kilometer model. This is your North America model. Now, this is actually more of a higher resolution model than your average models that are out there. So, we actually do have a large area of precipitation falling across the southwest, in which if you actually take a look here at the radar view, we can actually see that currently going on. So, across the bits of the mid-Atlantic into the southeast, we do have that high pressure in place, like I said. A little bit more snow going across bits of the upper Midwest. Further down the line, here's where things really get interesting. So all that precipitation is going to continue to move itself basically to the east here, with that area of low pressure kind of stalling out over the next several hours. Now, you'll actually start to see some of the snow kind of creep its way in through bits of the, the northern Great Plains, in through bits of the Midwest, as this system, this area of low pressure finally gets free and basically tracks itself to the east. Now, further down the line, this will actually do some pretty interesting things. So this system will generally track to the east-northeast. We'll actually get a large amount of colder air kind of backing in behind it, because areas of low pressure, they basically rotate counterclockwise, so it's dragging a lot of cold air down from Canada, as well as, bringing up all that warm moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, which will eventually spark all your thunderstorms. So then further down the line, that cold front will really start to develop here. You can actually see this really long line here. This is basically where your thunderstorms are going to start, firing off as that colder air backs behind it, and that warmer air kind of pulls up in front of it, along with, still that snow that's falling across bits of the upper Midwest and through bits of the Ohio Valley, places such as Michigan. And then this system will generally, basically track itself to the east, with those, severe thunderstorms that are expected to fire off on this cold front. So like I said, we are expecting some tornadoes tomorrow. Some tornadoes can be pretty large, but in general, this is mostly a linear event in which, a lot of, damaging winds is a big concern as well in terms of things. So that's basically what we're dealing with in terms of the NAM 3-kilometer model. Now let's go and take a look here and see what this model has to say about the accumulated snowfall from this. Alright guys, so we're still taking a look here at the NAM 3-kilometer model. However, now we are taking a look at your 10-to-1 snow ratio, basically in terms of accumulation. So further down the line, this system will track basically to the east. This could actually allow for a decent amount of snowfall to fall across bits of the, Midwest and through bits of the northern plains. Areas such as southern South Dakota. We might even see some instances of 6+ inches across that region. Now, according to this model, we actually might see a little bit more snowfall falling across bits of, southeastern parts of Minnesota, as well as western bits of Wisconsin. So, this is according to one model. You can't take one model 100% accurately for basically what it's showing, but just kind of get an idea based off of what this model is saying. So, let's go and take a look here at another model, and let's see what this one has to say in terms of your accumulation. Alright guys, so we're taking a look here at the HRRR. This is your high resolution rapid refresh model. So this one actually updates every hour. However, we're kind of taking a look back at the run from earlier this morning, as this one does go out further. So we do have this system that tracks to the east. This model even shows that we could see a decent amount of snowfall falling across bits of southern South Dakota, northern bits of Nebraska, as well as basically bits of southern Minnesota here, kind of just like how your NAM model was showing as well. So both of these models are agreeing in the fact that we actually could see a decent amount of accumulation across bits of southern Minnesota here, with maybe even 6+ inches with locally higher amounts possible. So, that's just something we're going to have to continue monitoring. We'll definitely have a better view on what we can expect whenever the models come out for tomorrow, the day of the event. So tomorrow we'll basically touch more in terms of this. We'll look at a lot more models in tomorrow's video just to kind of get that final output of what you guys could expect in terms of the snowfall. So let's go and go to the GFS model, and let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with in terms of the weather further down in the future. Alrighty guys, so we're taking a look here at the GFS model in terms of things. This is your global forecasting system. So this is another American model. However, this one goes out a lot further. So we do have all that precipitation across the southwest, in which we actually took a look at the radar view. We can currently see that going on right now. So further down the line, we actually will have that area of low pressure develop, kind of move its way in through these central plains, as we will start to see some snowfall across bits of the northern plains and through bits of the Midwest. Now, further down the line, this cold front will develop, allowing for some thunderstorms to form off across the southeast, moving in through the Ohio Valley as this thing just tracked mostly eastward. Now, further down the line, this is basically for the 12th of December here, we actually will have some high pressure building across bits of the Ohio Valley and through the Mid-Atlantic, leading to some pretty nice conditions, relatively dry. However, we actually might have a little bit of chilly conditions, basically from all that air that this system has brought down into the states. Now, this model actually has been hinting of another winter system basically impacting the upper northwest and through bits of the northern plains. However, this is for the 16th of December. Definitely things can still change, so it's just something we're going to have to continue monitoring over the next few days. So let's go and take a look here at the temperatures, and let's see what this model has to say about your upcoming temperatures from this system. Alrighty guys, so we're taking a look here at the temperatures and what your GFS model has to say. Now, like I said, we'll actually have that winter system that basically will basically move its way to the east-northeast. This will actually allow for a lot of cold air to really drive its way down in through bits of the country, in which we could potentially see some single digits up to the teens across bits of the northern plains according to this model. Now, as you can actually see, we do have that that relatively strong gradient in the cold front across bits of the Oklahoma area. You can actually see this is going from 40 degrees all the way up to 70s. So this is actually a relatively large drop. I mean, we're talking a 30-degree difference between the back side of this cold front and the front side of this cold front. So, regardless, this is still going to be quite the shocker for a lot of people. So, further down the line, this cold front will generally track to the east, allowing for those thunderstorms to pop off across bits of the southeast, moving in through bits of the Ohio Valley. Further down the line, this system will track its way through the Mid-Atlantic, potentially allowing for some more thunderstorms to fire off as this system just generally track its way out of the country. So then further down the line, with that second system we were looking at, we actually might see kind of a similar event currently going on right now. However, kind of shifted a little bit more north according to this. Like I said, it's just something we're gonna have to continue monitoring over the next few days. So let's go and take a look here at the mixed layer CAPE. This is basically your thunderstorms fuel, and let's see some soundings in terms of what we can see for this severe weather for tomorrow. Alright guys, so we're taking a look here back at the NAM 3-kilometer model. This is basically your North American model. So we're taking a look here at the mixed layer CAPE. Now, you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about, but basically what ML CAPE is, it's basically just your thunderstorms fuel in short term. So further down the line, this area of low pressure will develop across, basically move its way through bits of the central plains, moving up to the northeast. This will actually allow for that colder air to kind of move its way down behind it, because these areas of low pressure rotate counterclockwise. So you can imagine that, that counterclockwise motion kind of wrapping in that colder air from up north, where, towards Canada, where they receive less sunlight, therefore more cooler air. Now we actually do have the opposite occurring, basically on the, the eastern side of the system. It's actually allowing for all that, warm air from the Gulf of Mexico, all that, moisture-filled air, to really move itself up through the southeast, in which, with this area of low pressure, this actually does allow for a lot heavier winds to occur, in which, honestly, this is good for thunderstorm formation. So, further down the line, this system will track to the northeast, allowing for all that winter weather to occur across bits of the upper Midwest and through the northern parts of the plains. However, once this cold front does develop, this will actually allow for some thunderstorms to spark off due to your kind of, different, huge difference in temperature, basically from behind the system and in front of the system, which will allow for a lot of energy to be produced, and which it's actually released in terms of thunderstorms. So we're going to go and take a look here at a sounding for bits of northern Louisiana for 1 o'clock in the morning on the 11th. So, in terms of what this model says, you guys probably do not know anything that's on the screen right now, but I'm going to kind of explain it for you. So basically, this is showing that there is enough, instability to allow for some thunderstorms to form, which that's there. This also does show a lot of heavy shear, basically just showing, heavy winds at different at different levels of the atmosphere. So this actually is allowing for some decent amount of thunderstorms to actually form. So not only do we have enough instability, but we have enough shear, which will actually help organize those thunderstorms into become what they are. So in terms of things, there is actually a slight varying wind shear pattern, which will maybe produce maybe a tornado or two across this region. Now that's according to one sounding. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look here at eastern bits of Arkansas, and let's see what this sounding has to say in terms of things. So there is a bit of a cap in effect, basically just showing that there's a warm layer, basically a stable layer in the atmosphere, which actually might, kind of have troubles, with some thunderstorms forming off. However, like I said, this system is generally linear. Basically, it's a long thunderstorm system. So generally, this will be pretty forceful, which actually might allow for thunderstorms to kind of push its way through this cap anyways, allowing for, a lot of, thunderstorms to potentially fire off along this cold front. So in terms of this, we actually might see some hailers, according to this, based off of some things I'm seeing here. We're not going to really dive into that. However, we do have a varying wind shear pattern. We do kind of have a hook here on our photograph, which is actually showing, that change in, motion of the winds at the surface, which actually might allow for some, tornadoes to occur. And like I said, we actually do have a large, tornado risk in effect for tomorrow. Now, we'll go ahead and take another sounding, basically across bits of, we'll go ahead and take a look at here. Where did I take this from? Basically, northwestern parts of Arkansas here. Same thing. We actually are seeing a decent amount of instability occurring with the system, but we do also have a lot of that wind shear as well, leading to some pretty decent conditions for thunderstorms to form in. Now, the system will generally track its way to the east. That cold front will move its way through. Now, once you're behind the cold front, you'll definitely notice it. But once you're behind the cold front, your thunderstorm threat decreases, because basically the atmosphere becomes more stable behind the cold front, as that cooler air really does kind of take over behind. So that's basically what we're doing. That's basically what we're dealing with in terms of that. Now, this is based off of one model. You can't take one model 100% seriously. But like I said, just kind of get an idea based off of what it's saying. Now, I'm sorry if I went way too deep into that. I just kind of want to give what is going on in terms of things. So now look at this. I want to go ahead and go over this. This is basically your surface temperatures according to this model. Now look at this. Look how cool this is. You can actually see that cold front really swing its way down here and basically shoot its way through the nation. It's kind of cool to see how some of these models actually interact with each other. And it's kind of cool to see, what happens on kind of a visual perspective. So that's basically what we're dealing with in terms of the models. Now, I'm sorry if I took a little bit too long on that. However, we had a lot that we really needed to cover. So let's go and take a look here at the National Weather Service hazards, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of those current hazards across the nation. Alright guys, so we're taking a look here at the National Weather Service hazards in terms of things. There is a lot that is going on across the nation, so I'm going to try to make this relatively quick. So, we do have some freeze watches across bits of central and southern parts of California, as well as southern parts of Nevada, basically just showing that freezing temperatures are possible, basically just saying to stay alert for freezing temperatures, as freeze warnings might be needed further down the line. Freeze watches, basically pay attention. Freeze warnings, take action. Now, if a freeze warning is issued, if you guys have anything that's sensitive, such as sensitive vegetation, I'd recommend covering it over just until these have been lifted. Now, we do have some wind advisories across bits of Southern California as well as southern parts of New Mexico, basically showing that gusty winds are expected to occur. In which, if you guys have anything that's loose outside, such as lawn furniture, I'd recommend bringing it in just until these have been lifted. Now, we do have some high wind watches across bits of eastern parts of New Mexico, as well as western parts of Montana and western parts of New York State. Basically just showing that, high winds are possible. However, just stay alert, basically, meaning that high wind warnings might be needed further down the line. Now, in terms of high wind warnings, we actually do have a high wind warning in effect across bits of eastern Arizona here. As you can see, basically showing that high winds are expected to occur. Now, the same thing for the wind advisories. I recommend, if you have anything that's loose outside, I recommend bringing it in just until these have been lifted. Now, all right, so we do have some winter weather advisories across well of the western parts of the country, basically across bits of California, Nevada, Arizona, as well as New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, basically across bits of Wyoming, western parts of Montana, basically central parts of, Idaho, basically Oregon, as well as bits of, Washington State here. We do have some more basically across bits of central Nebraska, southern parts of South Dakota, basically central and southern parts of Minnesota, northern parts of Iowa, basically across bits, basically Wisconsin as well, with some of those winter weather advisories. Now, this basically shows that, winter weather is expected to occur and some impacts might actually happen. Now, Following that, we actually do have some winter storm watches in effect across bits of southern Idaho, as well as basically bits of Wisconsin and bits of northern bits of Michigan. So we do actually have some winter storm warnings in effect across bits of Utah, western parts of Colorado, southeastern parts of Wyoming, northern parts of Nebraska, southern parts of South Dakota, southern parts of Minnesota, northwestern parts of Iowa, and western parts of Wisconsin. So, that was a lot to say, but we do have a lot of winter storm warnings, basically showing that winter weather is expected to occur, in which if you guys are in a winter storm warning, you should be preparing now for the threat of winter weather. So, that's basically what we're dealing with in terms of the hazards across the nation. So let's go and take a look at today's picture of the day. Alrighty guys, so this is the photo of the day. This one goes to my man Andre again for taking a beautiful photo of a nice shelf cloud. So congratulations on being selected again for today's photo. So if you guys would like to submit a photo of the day, I will leave our Discord in the description. We actually almost have 200 members, so you guys can join there as well as post your photo in the channel for the photo of the day. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You guys are honestly amazing, and I appreciate everyone's support. So like I said, guys, we're trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of this year, so if you guys are not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as leave a like. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.